Former FBI Director James Comey under investigation after a controversial social media post administration officials say was a call for violence against the president. Joining us now to discuss is former superintendent of Chicago Police and retired special agent in charge of the FBI, Jody Weiss. Good morning to you.
Good morning.
We know that Comey deleted his post on Instagram. It had the 8647, the shell formation there, captioned with "cool shell formation on my beach walk." Federal officials say this was essentially calling for the assassination of President Trump, because 86 means to get rid of or to kill. And of course, President Trump is the 47th president. What was your thoughts when this happened?
You know, Jan, incredibly stupid. For the former director of the FBI to make a comment like this, absolutely stupid. I think it's emblematic of his hatred that he has for Jim Comey. But after 2 assassination attempts, you'd expect people to be hypersensitive toward this. They need to be. These need to be thoroughly investigated, because you just can't take another chance after what's happened in the past.
He also said he knew this was a political message, but that he thought it was more innocent. Do you think he's going to be charged with anything?
You know, I don't think he'll be charged under Section 871. But you know what could be interesting? Could he be charged for lying to Secret Service agents? You know, Martha Stewart was charged, General Flynn was charged.
Hold on one second. What is 871? What do you mean he's not going to be charged under?
Section 871, that would be the threat against a president.
Okay.
And you have to go through the elements of that. Without further evidence, I think that would be hard. This was a veiled threat. But if he lied to the Secret Service agents, like everybody knows, he knows what 86 means. To claim that it isn't, could they prove that he made that, was that a malicious lie? So I think it'd be very interesting what the Secret Service agents do. Did they grab his phone? Did they grab his wife's phone? Did they do a thorough investigation of that to see what his other communications might have suggested? And if they could find him in a lie, as I mentioned, General Flynn was charged, Martha Stewart was charged. So that might be an option for the DOJ down the road.
That option being what? Say it one more time.
He could potentially be charged with Title 18 U.S. Code Section 1001, which would be lying to Secret Service agents.
And you see that as a possibility in this case?
It could be. They interviewed him. If he interviewed them in that sense and he lied, they can prove that he lied, he could be charged. I just think right now, Jan, without further evidence, charging him for threatening the president would be difficult.
Right. And what kind of, you said this brought a lot of shame, you thought, to the FBI.
Yeah, I think he's the worst director and brought more harm to the reputation than any director in its history. And most of it has been done, I think, since he's left, since Donald Trump fired him. So he just has severe hatred for President Trump. I guess it'd be a very strong case of Trump derangement syndrome.
And so that's also some of where this stems from when you hear the National Intelligence Director, when you hear the Director of the FBI, you know, when you hear them talk about the fact that they believe this was a veiled assassination threat against the president and a call for it, you can understand where they're coming from in this case.
Oh, of course. It's clearly a veiled threat. And you just have to go through, and is they're capable of following through. And I think in his position, he has a lot of followers. Is someone going to look at this and say, hey, the former director of the FBI is saying he's a threat. I need to put this into action. I need to step up. So this is why this is so dangerous to do. And it's just incredibly stupid. And I think if you look at his former position, it's hard to believe a director would do that. But whether he's charged or not, just to steal a line from a few good men, galactically stupid.
Former Superintendent of Chicago Police, retired Special Agent in Charge, Jody Weiss. Great to see you. As always, thanks for joining us.
Thanks, Jan.